Do you find yourself overwhelmed with all the tasks, resources, and other information you need to keep organized as a teacher? Then you need to try using this ClickUp Virtual Teacher Binder. Hi, my name is Dr. Monica Reshavi, and welcome back to my channel. I'm a former high school teacher, college professor, and higher ed administrator. I now run operations for an online education startup. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use ClickUp as your virtual teacher binder. You're welcome to create your own template, or you can download my template for just $10 through the end of 2022. I'm increasing the price to $34 on January 1st, 2023. I'm so excited to walk you through my virtual teacher binder and ClickUp template here today. The reason for that is because this includes all of the features that I wish I had had to use when I was teaching undergraduate students and before that high school students. So let's dive in and see what the template includes. So if you look in the sidebar, you can see the space that I'm in. This top level space, which is what the template includes, is this virtual binder for teachers. And when you're clicked on the space level, you'll see that there are 3 views that are pinned and set up for you. There's all tasks, so it shows you tasks across your entire system. And you'll note that it's grouped by the space area. So there's areas called, or the list areas, contacts, resources, and you can also see resource links underneath of tasks. There is also a view for by status. So if you'd prefer, you can take a look at a Kanban style board of to do, in progress, tag, review, and then meetings archived and complete. And I like looking at this if I'm trying to get a holistic view of everything that's going on in my system. Then there's also this inbox processing view. So if we take a look at the filter here, you'll see the status is set to, and I'm just going to expand this so you can see it's set to tag. So anything that is tagged as the tag item for the status means it needs to be taken a look at. It has to be tagged with something that it relates to. So that way you don't have resources that you save, and later on you can't remember why you saved those resources. So inbox processing is a view I know you'll find to come in handy. Let's go ahead next and expand and take a look at what else is in the system. Now that I've expanded the virtual binder for teachers in my sidebar, you can see that there is a folder for binder templates, and there are 3 different lists. Let's start off by looking at the lists. So the first list is a task list. This is meant to be a comprehensive task list where you can put all of your tasks associated with any of your activities. And I've created custom fields that are available throughout your entire virtual binder for teachers, so that way you can appropriately tag or categorize any task that you have on this list. And that makes it really easy for you to filter and view and sort later on. So those custom fields are as follows. There's a class custom field, and inside of that custom field, there are 4 default options. You can certainly make more. You can just click on this and choose to either change the colors, or you can type and create a new one. Note, I want to point out something I learned when creating this particular video. When you have an emoji in your tag or in your option, you want to make sure to put that emoji at the end because it can mess with your sorting. So always make sure to put emojis at the end if you want to use them. As you might have seen from my previous videos, I love emojis. So you have that class custom field. You also have a scholarship custom field, and this scholarship custom field right now is just having some default scholarship research oriented projects. So like research project 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're welcome to make more or delete them if you don't need them. Also, I have a service area with just different committees. So committees 1, 2, 3, and 4. I want to point out the difference between this custom field class and this custom field scholarship as compared to the service is that these 2 are technically what are called label fields. So you can put more than one on here at a time. It's like a multi-select field. This field of service is you pick one or the other. If you'd like to, you can choose to go ahead and edit your field, and you could change your field so that you would have the information set up for that. That would be just more than one thing. So you can have more than one thing listed, but you don't have to do that. So, okay, so we have the custom fields out of the way, and we've talked about that. Now, the next thing I want to point out is that I've created several views on this task list. So if you click where it says grouped by status, you'll see grouped by class. And there's also that you can have grouped by service. So you'll see they're grouped by service and grouped by scholarship. And each one of these different views is a list that's just set up with a slightly different filter. So you can see on this grouped by scholarship, I have the scholarship field is set, meaning there is some kind of choice chosen for scholarship. So if there wasn't one, it wouldn't show up here. If I go to the grouped by service, you'll see that this is, if I look at the filter, the service field is set, meaning something was selected here. So if there's nothing set in service, it won't show up.
And similarly, if you looked at grouped by status, we have this, no filter, they're all here, or grouped by class. Those are, the class is set. So you can see the different classes. So this way, if you come into your system and you're thinking about, I just want to look at my tasks associated with classes right now, well, you go to group by class. If you just want to look at your service-oriented tasks, you could go to service, and then so on and so forth. I've also created views for grouped by status and board views. Now, there are a number of these here. I did the same by class, by status, by scholarship, and by service, but in a board view. So if I take a look at just group by status, you'll see to do, in progress, tag, etc. If I switch this over to class, then you'll see that this is going to be grouped by class. So anything that I have going on by class, where the class is set, it will show me here. And note there's also different adjustments you can make over in this 3-dot menu on the right-hand side. You can choose to show tasks that are closed or subtasks that are closed. And again, you can access all the different board views by just clicking on the stack here, and you can see them here. And finally, there is a calendar view, and this calendar view is set up to show the due dates for anything associated with your task list. So whether it is something that is not identified at all, it's a task and you haven't tagged it or categorized it yet, or it is a task that is for your class or research and scholarship or service, all of those things will show up here. So that is the task list. Next, let's take a look at contacts. So on the contacts list, this also has a number of different views. I have views that are both an all list, and this is just your typical list view, everyone that you've added from contacts. Now, if you're wondering, why would you want to put your contacts in ClickUp? And I use a different contacts app too. I actually just use the built-in iPhone contacts app, and it works just fine for me. But there are also other kinds of apps that you may be using. Here's why I want to recommend that you consider using it in your virtual teacher binder. When I am working on research projects, I often find myself interacting with folks again and again over time. I have some research partners I've written with for years. I have some individuals that have been speakers in my classes over the years, and they come back again and again, which I'm always very grateful for. And it's great to have their contact information right within this system because you can enter their information and you can also connect them to a particular class in terms of having that category. So that way, if you want to be able to easily see who is that contact I thought about for class 1, well, you can take a look at it here and add a filter there if you'd like. The different filters I have set up already on these views are contacts by scholarship, by class, and by service. So similar to the tasks, if you go to, for example, by class, you will see I have one contact in here for a class. If I switch over to contacts by service, I have 2 for services that are service obligations, which are related to committees. And then I also have a board view. And with this board view, I set it up to show us contacts by class, by service, or by scholarship, and it's just grouped in those different categories. So I still will maintain a different app to use contacts. It's just nice for being on the go, but I find this is really useful when I want to connect people to the types of things I'm working on in ClickUp. The last list that I want to walk you through is the resources list. And similar to contacts and tasks, I have several views set up, the by class, by service, and by scholarship. So let's talk about resources a minute and what that means in the context of ClickUp. So ClickUp, as I mentioned in other videos, has a web clipper, and I'll include the link below the video to show you how to get that. It's a Chrome extension, and you can also use on iOS and Android devices the option to share to ClickUp, so you can add resources to ClickUp. When I find a website or other resource online that I'd like to be able to include in my virtual binder, I always save it to ClickUp, and I put it on this resources list. And then from here, I just tag it with whatever class or research project I think that it would be relevant for. So let's take a look at all, because this will show you the 2 that are in here right now that at the moment have a tag view on them. Let me take a look and see if I have a filter. Nope, this is just showing 2 that happen to have a filter for tagging. So these particular articles that I found, I have marked as tag because I want to remind myself to give it some relative links here. So I might want to add it to scholarship or service. I might decide I need a comment, but tag for me is just the note to myself that I need to process this. I also have board views set up for the resources, and these views, just like the other 2 lists, include scholarship, service, and by class. So you can see all the different areas there. So as a quick reminder, we've gone through what it looks like on the top level of the virtual teacher binder, the tasks, contacts, and resources list. Next, let's take a look at some of the templates I included with this as well. So yes, there are templates inside of the template. Are you using ClickUp to keep yourself organized? If so, are you running into any challenges? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to help.
So let's take a look at the templates I've included inside of this template. Now, I want to point out, ClickUp has a special area inside of it for templates, and you can access that by clicking in your lower left-hand corner, and you can choose to go to the Template Center. And inside of the Template Center, you'll have templates that ClickUp has created and made available to you. You'll also have templates that are templates that you have made and saved. So to make it easier, I went ahead and made a binder templates folder. And this folder has two lists, list template and task template. So let's start with list template and talk about how to use that. Now, you can do this in one of two ways. You can choose to just keep these templates not edited or make some changes to them so they're your version of the template and keep duplicating them. You can click on it and choose to duplicate and then put it wherever you'd like within your system. Or you could choose to click this three-dot menu, go to templates, and you could save it as a template. And when you save it as a template, you can give it a name, for example, standard list template or something like that. And then you could choose what you want to include. I recommend kind of looking through the list first and seeing if there's anything you don't want. And then in the future, if you do that, you could choose to click this plus button and then choose from template. And moving forward, you could use that template just from the Template Center. So it's really one half dozen of the other, whichever way you do it. I've seen folks super successful just duplicating lists if they set them up the way they like, but also some people like to have the Template Center as a home base for all of their templates. So this template is pretty basic, but what I'm including in it are things that I include on all of my lists. So some information about the list, and the way you edit it, this is you just click on the I menu and add some information here. Note that if you add too much information, you'll just get into a scrolling situation here at the top and you won't see all of it. You can make this go away by clicking this little X here. I always like to put on a list any relevant links and resources. For example, on a research project or a service project, I find myself always asking, where is the working doc link or where is the folder link? I like to put that up here in addition to potentially adding it as a link on the task itself. It just keeps it at hand and easy to find. The other list is called task templates, and I've made two of those. So the first is a task with no subtasks. And again, you can click on this and you can choose to duplicate it. So duplicate tasks. You can also choose to right click on the task and duplicate it that way. Or you could click on this and actually go inside of the task, click the three-dot menu, and you could go ahead and go to Template Center and save as template. So then you could make a template of this task, and when you wanted to create new tasks in the future, all you would need to do is go ahead and click this task button at the bottom, and you could choose templates. And this makes it so that you can load a template easily. So again, you could choose to just duplicate the task, or you could save it as a template and then create from template, whichever works better for you. So the task with no subtasks, let's open this again and you'll see some of the information I have with headers. So about this task, I always recommend, even if it's just you working on this, if it's just you with no people being delegated, it's still important to put about some information about why are you doing this? I don't know about you, but I've often had tasks that I've started, but I had to stop because something else came up. When I come back to it, having this about this task, particularly why am I doing this and important things to remember, is really helpful moving forward. Resources, so any links again or attachments. I highly recommend that you include attachments in a cloud drive so you link to them as opposed to attaching them here on ClickUp. The reason for that is I often find that sometimes attachments can be slow to load when you attach them in ClickUp. I also like to make sure that the security settings are exactly the way I want on my files, and I feel much more confident with that when I share from a cloud drive that I have control over. Now, the remember part is just a prompt to remember to tag this task, whether it's something to do with scholarship, class, contacts, and/or service. That's just because I can find myself not doing this if I don't have a reminder to kind of nudge me to do that. The other template that I created was this task with subtasks. So you'll see a task, and then same type of information within the body of the task, and then there is a sample subtask. Same type of information, but it's a subtask. I like to break things out in terms of tasks and subtasks as much as I can. And ClickUp gives you a lot of options with how many layers of nesting you can go. So I think it's up to 7 at this point, depending on the type of plan you're on in ClickUp. You can just create new tasks by simply clicking on, for example, this, and you could choose to duplicate it. And then you can pick where you want it to go. Unfortunately, every time you want to duplicate something in ClickUp, it is a little bit longer. It takes longer than I would think that it should take because I have to pick where I want to go as opposed to duplicate, and it just appears here. In this case, it's probably faster to just go ahead and load it from the template, and then you'll have more tasks appear.
So in this part of the video, we've talked about the binder templates and how you have two lists that are here, list templates and task templates, and that you can choose to duplicate these, or you can take both the list and tasks on the individual lists and create templates from those that you can easily reuse later. Are you interested in receiving my best productivity tips for teachers, academic administrators, and students? Then you'll want to sign up for my monthly email newsletter. It's action-oriented, and I only share resources and tips that have worked for me. I've included the link to sign up in the notes below this video. If you liked this video, please let me know by subscribing to my channel, giving this video a like, and comment down below, and let me know what you're currently struggling with regarding ClickUp. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.